Karen, Donna, and not one man represented. Okay, well, that's typical. Guys never go to the doctor either, so we'll have to pester them later to do their work. Good stuff. So today, we always like to start a new month in momentum, kind of reflect on the past month and make sure your focus is in the right areas. Generally, you don't need a new strategy. You just need to get ruthless about repeating the right things. So I would suggest reassess or assessing kind of your big five from the last month: cap, water, sleep, strength, steps, and which one was kind of the one with the most room for improvement, we'll say. Can you drop that in the chat? Of those 5 areas, what is the one piece that held you back a little bit last month? If none, great, but likely there was something you could probably improve on a little bit. Here we've got Cap for Martha. Miranda, welcome. We got someone in the chat here. So, protein. Cap. It's always cap. So I knew that was where we were headed today, which is normal. The nutrition is always the hardest part of this whole thing. So we are going to workshop that a little bit, hopefully with a volunteer. But first, that's great. We got a couple more coming in. Now share where you crushed it. Like, what was of the 5 habits, what worked the best? Just looking in the waiting room here. Good. Beautiful. Steps and workouts, the movement piece, you guys are nailing. Water, sleep, steps, strength. Yeah, so everything else. If only that all made up for the cap. It doesn't often though, right? We find that out the hard way, most of us. We know how beneficial it is from a health perspective, but if we're striving to lose weight at least, definitely intake is the fastest way to drop weight. Someone asked, what's the fastest way to burn 500 calories? I said, don't eat 500 more calories. It's true, it works. So in the chat, one more question for you guys. What's your goal for May? Like a measurable outcome that you don't fully control. What are 3 behaviors? And that likely ties into the habits, but you can go off the board with that. And then what's one thing you need to stop doing? That's often a really valuable question. What's one thing that's kind of getting in your way? So I'll give you some time, and then we're going to open the floor to actually workshop this. So I got to open up some documents that I don't have open. I should have had open. There we go.
Sorry, I was late. What's our question?
Oh, sorry. Yeah, if it didn't show up for you, what's your goal for May? 3 behaviors that will help move the needle. And then one thing you're going to stop doing that held you back a bit in April. All right, so morning work commitment before starting my day. We've got maintain weight. That's a good problem to have, Martha. Better food choices. Good. Weekly weigh-in. Training. Pre-planning my social events. Go for it. Diane, you want to expand on that? You had your hand up?
Oh, no, when you said train.
Okay.
No, that's fine, that's fine. I'm talking about all the other exercises that you want, because I do the steps, the water, the cap and all that, but
Right. So the weight piece, yeah.
yeah, it's just doing the extra weights and stuff. I do them, but not exactly the ones you want.
Yeah, it's still done. It still counts. More meal planning ahead of time. That's a good one, Donna. I think that's a real bottleneck for many, is when we wing it, we tend to make mistakes, or we, cave into hunger because that takes over. Our reptilian brain ends up running the show. Okay. So those who missed it, I'll just repeat the questions. Either share in the chat or write them down. So in the chat there, that's kind of the focus for today's call. What's your goal for May? Very specific outcome goal you want to try to strive for. Not that you control that. And then 3 behaviors that are going to most be beneficial to that. And then one thing you're going to stop doing. Okay. Good. So with that said, I do want to hopefully person's willing to workshop a little bit in real time. I'd hate to call anyone out, so if you're willing, just unmute yourself and chime in, because we always refer to this document.
I can.
All right, let's do it, Martha. So ignore the 90-day piece, because we're focused in a little more granular here for 30 days. So in your case, what's the goal? What's the outcome? Maintain.
I think, yeah, it's really just kind of maintaining my weight. Because
Okay.
now, and I'm in maintenance.
We'll throw tone and tighten
Yeah,
in, because I think
for
things
sure.
will change. Yeah, just the scale number itself, trying to keep it roughly the same. Okay,
Yeah, exactly.
got it. Perfect. Okay, we got some real specificity in the chat. I like that. So write those down. So what's your process goal then? The first piece, your new cap target, is that?
Yeah, I think
Yeah.
it's my new cap target.
Okay.
It's more my protein than I'm doing okay with the calories. It's my protein. I'm over consistently in my protein, which sounds crazy, but
Yes. It's
yeah.
my screen is going all haywire here. So protein, moderating protein after a year of really hitting it high. I like it.
Yeah. Yeah.
Maximum. Okay. Very good problem to have. That means more room for carbs and fats, but it's the balance to strike, I guess. Does that?
Yeah, and I think the
Yeah.
problem for me is what I'm doing is picking the wrong carbs and fats, or I feel like I am, right?
Yeah,
To kind of balance that. So,
that's very, very common.
yeah.
Yeah. So not to say you can't have some more fun foods than you typically can in fat loss, but yeah, you know yourself best. It can be it kind of breaks the seal for me if I have the wrong things.
For sure.
So filling up on the starches, fruits, the filling, fibrous, carbohydrates, and then whatever left over, you can have a treat still. I mean, that's important, right? But
Yeah.
what kind of carbs do you tolerate for one, but would have that kind of fit that profile of being healthy, filling, nutrient?
Yeah, I think it's the fruits, it's like the carrot sticks in the fridge, it's the hummus that I think is a better choice than the chips, the tortilla chips, those extras. Yeah, I mean, even the protein pasta is a better choice because I mean, yeah, it's a carb, but it's got that protein hit as well. So I'm obviously in moderation, but
Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah, that's the nice thing. There are products on the market now that have, they're not an exact perfect switch for something more junky, but yeah, like you said, the protein.
Yeah, and it's like the struggle that I'm having is that crunch, and we've talked about it, right? Like I do crave that crunch. I even went and made sweet potato chips myself. It's a ridiculously labor intensive process for honestly very little. It took me like 5 hours to make a bag of, and they weren't that crunchy, like, because then you get by the store bought, which I know aren't nearly as good, and they're super crunchy. So I don't know.
The magic of food science. Yeah, air fryers have been the game changer for me in that regard. Like
I have an air fryer. I
Yeah.
did mine in the oven. If I did them in the air fryer, like it took me 5 hours in the oven with two big cookie sheets. How long would it take me in a tiny air fryer? Like,
Yeah, it depends on how much you
oh,
make. I cut up 2 potatoes into like fries,
yeah,
wedges, and if it's in there long enough, they come out pretty crispy. I just salt the crap out of them, season them. They're good.
okay,
Store-bought
yeah,
fries, you can find brands that are fairly low fat and aren't gonna crush your calories.
yeah,
Like the Matchstick McCain fries. That might give
yeah,
you a crunch, but you're looking more for a chip, right? Like
yeah, yeah. It's not the fries so much;
Yeah.
it's the chips. So I did buy the bag from Costco. I think it's like plantains and sweet potatoes and which are nice and crunchy, but I mean, 6 chips is like 250 calories. So don't know if it's the best. It's a better alternative, but
Yeah. Yeah, it's not
anyway,
much.
that's what I'm struggling with is that craving.
Yeah, even those veggie sticks, like they're fairly similar calorie wise when you break it down. Like volume,
Exactly. Like I
it's
don't
not
think any of those
necessarily.
are good. So
Hmm.
it's that option I'm struggling with,
Yeah,
really.
yeah. I would just have the real thing, just in a controlled amount, right? That's the hard part is the controlled amount part, but
For sure.
chips can fit now, especially with your bigger calorie balance you have.
Yeah.
If that's what you're craving, I would say just embrace that. I mean, you've
Yeah.
already, at this point, just can't be the whole bag. That's the.
Yeah. Yeah. And I think maybe it's and I like I was doing okay with that. It's more I can't do it every day either. So it can't be the whole
Mm,
bag in one day
yeah,
and it can't be every day.
got it.
Right.
Yeah, yeah. That kind
So,
of a treat mindset. Oh, yeah. When you have it
you
to look,
know,
you have something to look forward to, you can kind of drag out a couple days, but not, it's usually not really well balanced to be really tight Monday through
yeah,
Friday. Saturday, it opens the floodgates. Yeah.
for sure.
Don't have a good
Agreed.
answer for you on this one.
I
It's
know.
an age-old
Uh,
challenge for all of us.
It sure is.
Okay, so just to fill out the next two, what would you say is worth putting here just as a placeholder?
I think like my strength training is going well and I'm quite committed to it, but I do think I need to find ways to up some of my weights.
Okay, yeah, so
Um,
super overload.
I do wonder what I do when I get to and I might for some of my exercises, like what do I do when I get to the upper level of my adjustable dumbbells that are, what is that, 52.5 pounds? Like, what do I do? Increase like numbers? Like, I don't know. Like,
Yeah, rep range is the first change, right? Is
yeah,
just increasing the time sets or the number of reps because you get the same benefit as long as you get close to failure. But if you're doing 30 reps with something, then obviously either we have to increase the weight or do something else,
yeah,
different exercise and
yeah.
kind
I'm not doing 30 weights, but I do know there are
yeah.
exercises where I could increase. Sorry, I'm not doing 30 reps, where I could increase the weight for sure. Um,
And you don't
so
have the option to, you mean?
no,
Oh,
I still
for
do,
now.
but like there are some exercises, you know, some of the goblet squats and things where I'm already at 40 pounds. It probably isn't going to take me too long if I really go at it to increase to that max. So
Hmm.
I don't know. But
Yeah.
I do think there's opportunities in some of my
Mhm.
exercises to challenge myself a bit more in the weights.
Okay. Yeah. It's a problem you can figure out once you get there. Look, maybe the resale market for a 60-pound weight. If you're doing that, that's awesome. That would be huge. So it's a good problem to have if we get there. For now, yeah, just add little pauses or slow down the reps. But the first step is just increasing the number of reps without jumping up in weight. If you feel like the weight jump isn't quite there,
Okay.
good. And lastly, anything else?
Um, I am pretty good on my water. I think it's just finishing it earlier in the day. Like I was good at that for a while and now it's getting a little bit later. And so obviously that can affect my sleep quality. So I
Mhm.
mean I'm hitting it. It's just I can't hit it at 9 o'clock at night because
Yeah.
then it affects my quality of sleep. So
Okay. Yeah. What I do is my rule is, well, it's not quite a liter, I think, roughly 800 milliliters. I get all of that water in before I'm allowed to have my coffee, so I'm incentivized because I want to caffeinate. So
yeah, and I don't drink coffee, but
yeah,
I do get a liter of water in. Try and drink a half liter before my workout and then a half liter throughout my workout so that when I'm done, I have a liter in at least to start the day. So because
oh,
that's like at
yeah,
7:15 or 7:30.
perfect. Yeah, so I wouldn't obsess about 3 liters if you feel like hydrated, you're not peeing Motorola, like really dark urine,
Yeah,
then just taper off and don't sweat it.
yeah,
There's no real
yeah,
magic
that's
in
fair.
3 liters. Yeah, it's more important actually during a weight loss phase where we're trying to take the edge, ensure that you
Yeah,
don't confuse hunger for thirst and so on.
yeah, that's good to know. 2 liters is never a
Yeah,
problem. It's the third
yeah,
liter that is the challenge. So
yeah. Especially with more carbs, you tend to not need as much water. You're not losing as
right.
much water. So
Okay.
that's good to keep in mind is just kind of self-regulate it now. You know how to kind of tell the difference.
For sure.
Okay, good. So between two, let me adjust that. Okay, so within 24 hours, like what would be find a solution for that crunch craving?
Yeah. That honestly, right now, for me, that's my biggest
Yeah.
struggle. Yeah.
Trying to think. The protein chip market is cornered by like 1 or 2 brands and it's outrageously priced.
Yeah, and so
Like
like I
the
do have
bags.
Quest chips. The problem I have
Yeah.
there is I'm always over in my protein already. If I add that 22 or 23 grams of protein from
Mm,
those chips, then I'm back to my 180,
mhm.
right? So,
Yeah.
I mean, I guess I could take like I have a protein bar for a snack in the morning. Maybe I could just take that out and
Swap it. Yeah, that's an idea. Yeah, is get more
yeah,
of your protein from something you enjoy versus something that you're just doing to hit the number.
right. Yeah,
So
might be
yeah,
an option.
yeah, that might be an idea. Going a little over is not the end of the world. It's just it might accidentally put you into a deficit if your protein goes up, even though your calories stay the same, right? Because of the thermic effect.
Yeah,
And that's
yeah.
trying to
Yeah.
get you
And
out
I
of.
don't like seeing the red bar in my protein. I'm not gonna lie. I haven't
Yeah, I
really
hear you.
liked that.
Okay.
And I don't like that. So
You're not in the challenge, nothing to worry about, but I hear you.
yeah, exactly.
Okay, within 72 hours, what would be
I think I'm gonna increase the weights in some of my exercises.
sorry, my dog is drowning me out here. I don't know if you can hear it.
No, I'm gonna increase the weights. I'm gonna
Okay.
increase weight for some of my exercises, maybe on
I
in my
like it.
Friday workout.
Yeah. Perfect. Okay, that gives us a good plan here. Awesome. All right. I'll share this with you then once we're done. Any questions on this though, Martha?
No?
It's helpful. Okay. Excellent. Good. All right. Stop sharing. Just want to dig into the chat here. We could certainly do this with someone else, but any questions that you guys have? Go ahead, Diane.
The level of protein, it's different for everyone, I'm assuming, but what is the ideal level a day of protein?
Yeah, so like Martha's in a maintenance phase, so it's less important, which is why we
Yeah.
brought it down for her a bit. Optimally, it's 1 gram per pound of your target weight is where kind of the science lands
Oh,
nowadays.
okay.
So whatever your goal weight is you're trying to achieve, we try to set it close to that. Oftentimes we're a little bit less than that because we want to make it realistic for people new to the program. Sure that they can hit it consistently, but that's ideal.
Okay.
For some that are optimizing for muscle, it might be 1 gram per pound of current weight, but somewhere in between there. More is better to a point, but not get excessive with it. So I think we're pretty much there, Diana, in your case, but okay, we've got. Okay, I like the real specifics in the chat. Any other questions? I know I had a couple messages come in that someone that couldn't attend that wanted their questions answered, but I suppose we could do that here, but I'll leave it up to you guys first. Anything else? Dialed in. Okay, good. For those attending the event, just as a side note, the itinerary should be going out tomorrow. I just met with them to finalize the lists and space and everything else. So I want to make sure we get that out at least a week in advance. So hopefully you'll all see that. But the question was, what adjustments should I make if I'm plateaued? And I think some of you may have seen in Monday's message where often a plateau is just a tracking issue. And so that I haven't dug in with this person in particular, but generally we look at that first. Are there any bites, licks, and tastes sneaking in? Are you using oil and not tracking? Are your weekends going higher than the app would suggest? Like we really try to get into the nitty-gritty of the food piece because it's usually the difference maker. So that said, if it's a true plateau, you've done everything right, 2-3 weeks have gone by and you're not seeing any measurable change, then we will play with the macros generally. Like shifting the protein up 10 grams a day might be enough. Adding in some movement. Sorry, I'm responding to someone as I write this. Horrible multitask.
I know when I plateaued, Mitch, it sounded counterintuitive, just in case anybody else gets there, where you said, let's increase your calories I think we did it for a week, which I
Mhm.
was like, that's insane. And then when I went back, I had that whoosh and it did kind of restart my weight loss. So sounded
Mhm.
crazy when you said it, but it really did work.
Yeah, it does work. I mean, for most people, we don't have to worry about that because they're not 100% consistent. They go on vacation, they have one of these breaks by accident. But the Matador study was years ago now, where the group that did periodic breaks to maintenance calories had better results in the long run than the group that just kept trying to stay in their deficit consistently. And I think it was partly an adherence thing because you're more adherent after you give yourself a little reset. But there also was some evidence that it reset hunger hormones, metabolism kind of got a bit of an uptick. And I think just the mental reprieve that it provides, right? And it sure worked in your case.
It did,
So
yeah.
we don't generally go there unless someone's, legitimately consistent, hasn't seen any progress for at least 2 weeks, because sometimes progress is hidden in that time period. But beyond that, if things aren't moving, then absolutely it makes sense to reset the maintenance, maybe, reset even the workouts and movement, kind of scale that back for a bit, give the body a break, and then one step back, 2 steps forward kind of thing. That's a good note, good footnote. Thanks for sharing that. Okay, anything else, you guys? All is good. Now is the time. Don't be shy. I'll wait. I'll wait it out. We still got 7 minutes. Diane again. All right.
No, I'm
Thank
sorry.
you. Appreciate
You interrupt all the time, but
it.
yeah, I'm finding the meals in the evening, I think I mentioned before, is I'm just going through them too fast. Um, and this always happened as a child because I wanted to get outside, so I always ate fast, which bothered everybody. And I'm still doing it. I'm taking my time at lunch and breakfast, but dinner's usually larger, and I just kind of get through it because I want to do something else. But the other thing is because I want to get to my protein bar, my only dessert for the day. And I don't know how to, because eating too fast, of course, just makes your stomach too full, too fast, and you don't feel good after. And that's usually what happens. So
Mhm.
I can't use chopsticks on soup or anything. So, but
Yeah,
I will
I've already
try
used that tip with you, haven't I? Yeah.
I will. That was your suggestion. I will try it on other items, other food items.
Are you hungrier going into that meal that you feel more ravenous, or it really is just a matter
No,
of when you move on with your day? Okay.
no, just
Yeah.
got to eat dinner. So eat it, just,
Yeah.
but I
Well, I
probably,
wouldn't sweat eating too fast if you get some movement in after. Like a walk after meals is one of those real hacks that can help with digestion. Like slow
I,
eating is supposed to be ideal, but
yeah, I usually do
yeah.
all that exercising and walk before dinner.
Okay. Well, I would stagger it. A little bit of a 10-minute walk, even after a big meal, is going to help.
Yeah.
You feel that discomfort that you get from eating too fast.
Yeah.
And blood sugar regulates. It's a real hack. If you have time for it, quick movement break after meals. Just you don't get that brain fog and stuff.
No.
So try that. Eating slower is probably the ideal scenario, but it doesn't sound like that's quick fix here. So
I'm just going to have to try harder.
yeah,
Yeah.
try putting some more of your movement that you usually do prior, after, and see if you
Yeah.
feel better the rest of the evening.
Well, I just find that when I go to the gym every day, I go after work or whatever, and I just, even though I'm working out really hard, I'm finding it really helps the whole day wind down. I find the exercise
Yeah.
calming.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, for sure. It's awesome for that. So this wouldn't be any elaborate workout. It's just even getting outside for 5 minutes,
Okay,
walk around the block. That's enough to start things moving a little bit better than you would if you were sitting.
with the
Okay.
TV and the 3 computers on. Yeah, I know.
You're supposed to be, are you ever going to retire, or is that not in the work?
Me?
Yeah.
No, never
Love
retire.
it. I love it. Keeps you young. Okay, we got a tip to eat for fuel, not for fun. Yeah, that's a good point. I like the 15% added footnote there. Yeah, that's nice because I think it's a recipe for failure, trying to be that raw bodybuilder, eat for fuel and no fun. Purple kale is awesome, but most of the time you nailed it for sure. So what's working for you in that regard? Do you have like a certain treat you save at the end of the day, or is it more geared to the weekend, or what?
No, I'm consistent. I have one piece of dark chocolate every day at lunch. It's just my thing. It's
Yeah.
not a lot of calories. It's the big bag from Costco. Love that. It keeps me happy. But I'm not a sweet tooth person. I'm a savory person. So it's not hard for me to not want dessert because I typically don't want dessert. I can have one bite and yeah,
Yeah.
so that's not hard. Um, for me is I'm extremely social. So what I am trying to manage is the change in mindset of focusing on conversation and not consumption. And
Oh,
so
wow. That was my
like
quote, wasn't
just,
it?
hey,
I think I said that at some point. You
you
wrote
may
that
have.
down. I love
Yeah,
it.
and
Yes,
and
yes.
I hung on to it.
Yeah, perfect.
Michelle Robbins also just interviewed Jay Shetty. And this recent one was really good on finding your passion. So, Diane, that might be something is outside of work, what fuels you so that you're not focused on eating as much as, okay, work is done. What else can you do? I've been guilty of working too much myself and really trying to focus on what are the things that I enjoy doing that isn't, prepping meals, eating meals, um, working, and what are those things that I enjoy doing, and trying them out. So yeah, it's been an exploration for sure. I s- I'm making progress, um, but if I could just snap it into place, it would be way easier, but progress is great. So,
I like that. Like having some pastimes. In adulthood, we kind of lose sight of that. It's work, family, sleep, eat, rinse, repeat. What have you found has been a real fun hobby that you've rekindled that was lost kind of just to get the wheels?
well, it's what is my hobby? I shouldn't say I'm not creative, but I'm not creative in the sense that my sisters are creative. Like I call them Martha Stewarts. So I tell them like I said I come up with a lot of really great stuff. I'm very visionary and then I have to get somebody to help me execute on a lot of my projects. So part of it is helping that. So this summer it's looking at the yard, trying to figure out what new flower bed that I
Mhm.
can put in there, fully knowing who I am when it comes to flower beds, that it has to be perennial, it has to be flowering. I'm good to weed sometimes, but not tons. So if I have to like snip things here and there, like I'm good. So also, telling myself that's what the flower bed's going to look like, not like the neighbor
Mhm.
two doors down that has, the envy of the flower beds, but the just silly little things like that. And then also telling myself that, the walk with the dog, take the time, go to the dog park. Don't try and just do it locally. Dog park's beautiful. Go there. Find a friend to come with me to do that. Um, and my most recent thing is for Mother's Day, I've asked my kids and stepkids, I said, I don't want a gift, but I want you to plan an opportunity for me to do something with you that you love. So show me what you love doing. I'll do it with you. If there's a cost to it, that's okay. I'll pay for it. So I'm curious to see what they come up with. So part
Yeah.
of it is forcing them to think about what do they love doing,
Mhm.
and and thinking about, hey, yeah, I'd love for Jose to see that. So I'm expecting there might be some horseback riding in there. There's probably going to be some golfing. It might be some fishing. And my oldest daughter, I have no idea. She'll probably tell me let's go on a trip. So she'll be the most expensive one.
Well, you left it open-ended, so you
Yeah.
can't blame them for
Yeah.
that. Take it far. I love it. So that gets the wheels turning. That gives me some homework actually to kind of think outside the box with my own life. And
Yeah,
maybe
there you go.
let the
You're
kids do
welcome.
something different. Yeah, I appreciate that. Hopefully everyone else's wheels are turning too. We try to live the same day over and over for how many years? It's important, I think, to reflect and try some new things. I like it.
Yeah.
Okay. Appreciate you sharing that. Anything else, guys? Guess we're at time. I know Dan's jumping off and the one man we had represent on the call. Appreciate that, Dan. We'll chat then with the rest of you guys. Well, probably before next Wednesday, but certainly watch for the event details if you're on the guest list for that. And we'll chat soon. Keep it rocking.
Thanks, everybody.
Thanks.
Bye.
See ya.